If you are like the 36 million or whatever other people, or at least individual views, that have seen this thing, then you know already about the new internet sensation, the amazing digital circus. And I got caught in it, and now I've got a brand new hyperfixation. So let's talk about it. A lot of people have already done a lot of talking about this thing specifically, and I haven't seen a lot of it. I watched the MatPat video, and I mean, that's kind of all you really need to get the majority of what people are thinking about a thing at any given time. But I have some different ideas. And now this is, because we only have 25 minutes of a video, speculation at best, and is not to be counted as like, here's a reason to go back and ridicule Vincent if he was wrong, because I do that all the time with my other things. I am wrong. I agree that this is a thing that happens and it sucks when it does, but that's all that I can really do about it. So, welcome to some tinfoil hat speculation for the amazing digital circus. Let's begin. So, Pomni shows up, and she knows that she's wearing a headset.
How do I take this headset off?
At the outset of her appearance, she must have at least some memory of what's happening, or what has just recently happened, directly before her translocation, her appearance. And then, when she's trying to get the headset off, Jax says,
"Just keep grabbing at it. That works for all of us."
This implies that all of the rest of them entered into this world the same way, using such a headset. Now, whether we can actually take anything that Jax says at face value is perhaps debatable, because he's somewhat antagonistic, or at the very least generally unhelpful, mostly. But let's assume that his offhand comment reflects the way that the others actually got there. Pomni calls the device that ostensibly brought her here some kind of weird headset. Now, MatPat and many others have theorized that she was some sort of programmer or designer or something that was working on or created the game world in which she finds herself. If she can remember putting on the headset, then she must have enough memory to remember that exact instant where she put the headset on. And if she were an employee working on that system, why would she say it like she didn't recognize it at all? And it's not some kind of weird head thing or whatever that would imply she has no idea what it was. She says headset, which means that she has at least got some memory there. I think this is evidence that she might have been someone who was not meant to be playing with that hardware. Someone who shouldn't have had access to it, but somehow did. Someone like Jax. I think Jax is some kind of like low-level hacker on account of his having keys to doors that he should not be able to have keys to or access. Especially because it seems like when he says, "Oh, don't worry, I got keys," Ragatha's like, "You have keys?" As if to think that keys did not exist before. The way he acts, his kind of like, "I don't really care about anything," it feels like he's kind of like a script kiddie or some other sort of like lower level kind of hacker who knows maybe a couple tricks at best, but who is not an expert at that field. He's a lot of talk, and he adapts pretty quickly to any situation, but that's about it for him, and that's why he has not figured out how to get out yet. Here's where we get to the meat of my theory. The exit door at the very beginning that Pomni sees is orange and has the handle on the left and the arrow pointing left. The door Pomni finds during the adventure is red, handle on the right, arrow to the right. This is probably the biggest thing I noticed. Especially because, like, the door that she finds is standing in the space through which she had just recently run from the abstracted Kaufmo, which means that it either didn't exist there before, or she somehow missed it on her way running through, which is unlikely because it's literally the one thing that she is looking for. You would think that she would have seen it and been like, "That's the thing I'm looking for," and ran through that, instead of to run behind a barrel full of digital monkeys. space in this world, in this universe, seems to at least be mostly constant. And we see this because, like, Pomni runs out of the hallway where everyone's stuff is, and then runs back in, and that hallway is still there. She finds herself back down in, like, the big area where she had met everyone initially. That's still there. You can see that there is a cellar where all of the other abstracted people ostensibly go, and that's there where people expect it to be. So space is constant here, which means that it doesn't just willy-nilly change unless something happens. So it wouldn't make sense as to why there would simply be a door there when there wasn't but one before, unless if it was there, Pomni would have seen it. This means that it was placed there during the time that she was hiding from Kaufmo, and it was done in something of a hurry by Kane. That's why it doesn't match the door that Pomni saw earlier. Kane had to create it too quickly to have, like, full high fidelity, and he missed the details of it. This theory is pretty solidly backed up by the fact that Kane says at the end of the episode,
I knew how much all of you have been wanting there to be one, but, you know, I was having so much trouble figuring out what to put on the other side and ended up never quite finishing it.
That he had put the door there, but hadn't figured out how to end it yet, and that he hated to have the others see his work before it was finished. The door is a distraction. Kane put a decoy, a sort of, like, whipped up in the second, like, kit bash door there, so that he could condition Pomni and the others into thinking that all exit doors are going to be fake and lead to this universe's version of the backrooms, when in actuality, the orange door might really be a way out. After all, software might have a back door built into it. Which brings me to the final idea surrounding this. The circus, the digital circus, is an intrusion countermeasure. It's why Pomni is there. She was not meant to be messing with the headset, and she got zooped inside. It's why Jax is there. He was poking around with something in the code or something like that and got zooped. It's why Kinger is there. He was an original bug tester who was then basically sacrificed to the intrusion countermeasures to see if it worked. Jax even sarcastically asks in a very Chekhov's gun sort of way when Kinger became an expert on the digital world, after Kinger, who we have established is unreliable, gives a really detailed and, like, lucent explanation as to why they don't feel hunger, they don't need to eat, all it will be is a virtual simulation of the food that they're going to eat at the very end. I don't have enough characterization for the others to be explained, like why Ragatha is there, or why Zubal is there. Like, I don't know who those people are yet. I'm working on it. I think, however, that Pomni may have been a burglar, or some other sort of, like, corporate espionage thief or break-and-enter enthusiast or something who came across a piece of impressive-looking tech and fell victim to its security measures. When she's running through the sort of exit subworld, she comes across the computer where there's all these papers strewn about all over the place, and all the drawers of the filing cabinets are open and ransacked. So I think, maybe, that somebody was looking for something in a hurry, like maybe a burglar or someone who wanted a particular file or document or something, but they needed it quickly such that they could escape without getting caught. In fact, if you go to the website in the show advertising the Wacky Watch, it gives you a video that mentions experimental hardware that would probably be worth a fortune to a competitor for the C&A Corporation. All the more reason to think that Pomni was trying to steal the information on that experimental tech when she found the headset and put it on. Because, I mean, like, Kane confirms that Pomni's mind has left the material plane to transition into the digital one when he explains that a lot of people's minds do
Digital hallucinations!
when they transition into the digital world, which kind of implies some kind of .hack sign style consciousness leaving the body and being trapped in a video game. Come at me, Sword Art Online. .hack did it first and better a decade and a half or more before you did it. That's where I'm standing right now with this sort of theory. The circus is an intrusion countermeasure. Kane is the artificial intelligence system admin that keeps the people who have tripped the countermeasures in that space. And the people who are there are those who either were sacrificed to the testing or who found themselves there by triggering the security countermeasures. That's my thing. And I think there is an exit. And I think it's that orange door. So we'll have to find out. Anyway, thank you guys very much for coming and watching. I am surprised that I got another video out this quickly, but we did do it, didn't we? It's a new hyperfixation that I will probably have for a little while, and I really, really, really hope that we get more of this show because it is very entertaining, and I rather do enjoy the characters quite a lot. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I know everyone has to say it, it's the dumbest thing, but like, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, or like, push the like button or any of those, it does actually legitimately help, and it shows that if we ask you to do it, then you do it more often than if we don't ask you to do it. So, hit the buttons. You know where they are, you know what they do, you've been on YouTube before. We will see you again sometime in the near future, hopefully for something that you guys will like. See you guys next time.